Hello, welcome along to Sportsbet TV with me, Paul Alster, looking ahead now to day 2 of the Cheltenham Festival on Wednesday, the 13th of March. The going on day 1 was extremely testing. Despite that, the favourites did really well, especially Willie Mullins having a field day. And it always tends to be the case that when the shorties win, I don't. And the two horses I put up for you on day 1, well, they didn't run as well as hoped. Gevray never really got into it, but remember I said that if it's soft ground, he'll be fine. If there's any heavy in the description, he won't run well, and that's exactly what happened. He travelled okay for the first mile and a half, but after that, he was not enjoying himself in the mud. Latin Verse gave us a bit of a shout. Was very prominent for most of the Boodles, but then just ran out of puff as they turned in towards the home straight and went to the last. But he ran a solid race. Latin Verse. If you happen to be joining us for the first time here on this service, press the subscribe button just below this screen and then you get all my free tips. I've been providing free recommendations on this service since the early COVID days of July 2020, and over those 3.5 plus years, some marvelous results, including at this meeting in 2021 and others, very big doubles and trebles, always looking for value and always have shown a profit with every season and with every calendar year. And hopefully that will continue. There'll always be ups and downs. But when you're betting at big odds, you can't expect all of them to hit the target. Places are obviously very good indeed when you're putting them up at decent prices. And those are the bread and butter of the service, as well as, of course, the big prize winners. If you're looking for more selections, then, of course, my clients over at Out in Front, my subscription service, have been doing really well since we got into our stride there back in October of 2022. We had a terrific time of things last weekend with a 90-1 double. I've got 4 selections for day 2 of the Cheltenham Festival there, ready and waiting. You can check those out and consider joining us all there by clicking the link on the description box just below this screen. So 2 for you I have here at Sportsbet on Wednesday. The first of them is in the Coral Cup Handicap Hurdle, always a very, very competitive event. And in that heavy ground, 2 miles, 5 furlongs, it's going to take some getting. It's an event that has seen a few surprises in the last few years, with winners, 4 of them starting between 20 and even up to 50-1. So this is a tough one, but it's the type of race I like to get my teeth into, because that's where you find the bigger odds on offer and horses running at big double figure odds that really have a genuine chance. Whereas in the graded races, such as the big novice hurdles and the championship races, those at big odds, really are very often up against it. I'm going to be backing 2 in the race. One of them I'll be recommending and Out in Front. The other one I have for you here at Sportsbet. They've both got chances. Now, on the face of it, last year's winner Langer Dan for Dan Skelton, he should be quite big odds because he hasn't run well so far this season. But I think it's fair to say that his season has been geared to try to defend his crown. And he's back here running off the same mark. There's been plenty of money around for him too. I don't imagine he will be very far away, even though the ground is probably as soft as he would want it. One horse who's big odds that will like the ground is the Gary Moore trained Mark of Gold. He won going the other way round last time out at Kempton. He's got a good £7 claimer on, and he'll enjoy the ground. He also ran well on the card last year in a very close 7th in the Martin Pipe to Iroko. So he's one at big odds who could run better than the bookies anticipate. Gordon Elliott has got 4 in the race. They've all got chances. The pick of the 4, I think, might be Gigoro, the mount of Jack Kennedy. He's only had 4 runs over hurdles. He won a maiden hurdle at Navan in December, then was runner-up in the Grade 2 Moscow Flyer hurdle, and was 3rd in a good listed race to Tully Hill last time out, and he's making his handicap debut of just 141. A real handicap expert is Tony Martin, the Irish trainer, who had a lovely winner of the Potemps handicap hurdle last season at the festival. He's got one called Xander Bad, who's going up in trip for the first time. It looks like they've been trying to hide his line under a bit of a bushel, this horse. He's won in testing ground on the flats, so the muddy conditions should be okay for him. and he finished very strongly behind Daffodil in the Scottish County Hurdle at Musselburgh in February. I think the longer trip and the ground are going to play to his strengths, and Zanderbad is one for your short list. Willie Mullins has got three in the race. He's got Lombron, who I think has got his work cut out. He's got Sam Majest, who's the favourite at around 5-1. He beat Noble Yates over 2.5 miles at Leopardstown's Christmas meeting, and that one, of course, went on to win a Grade 1 Stayers event and is a big fancy for the Stayers Hurdle on Thursday. So this horse is very, very interesting, getting in off 140 first time in a handicap. And Willie also runs Shambali Kid, who's a maiden hurdle winner who hasn't been getting home over 2 miles, and he might over 3 miles, I should say. And I think the 2 miles 5 furlongs in this ground might just suit him well. He should go okay. Nicky Henderson, well, he's got 3 runners, but they just didn't run well day one. His horses, the stable's under a cloud. Doddy the Great will be the best of them on his Betfair Hurdle 4th, but I can't get too excited about it. So I'm going to take you on to my choice here, and this is a horse called Da Capo Glory. Da Capo Glory is an Irish raider trained by Porty Butler and the mount of the very good amateur Dara Allen, who's claiming £7. Now, this horse was very good third in the Grade 2 Boyne Hurdle at Navan a month ago. He previously won in testing ground over 2.5 miles, a handicap hurdle at Cork, under Dara Allen, who seems to just click with this horse. The ground should be about right for him, and they've also put the first-time cheat pieces on as well. And I'm hoping that will inspire him to just produce that little bit extra. He's available with 1 or 2 bookies still at 33-1 each way for the 6 places. And I'm really optimistic that, along with the horse I'm recommending out in front at fairly similar odds, I think the Capo Glory is going to run really big for us here at Sportsbet in the Coral Cup tomorrow at 2:50. And then to my second final selection on Wednesday, another big handicap, the 450, the Grand Annual Handicap Chase, where it's soft, heavy in places. They're anticipating 17 runners. A race that's very hard to predict. We had a 7-2 favourite in recent years landing it, but it's not so long ago we had a 66-1 winner as well, Croco Bay. So anything can win it, especially in this ground. Now, last year, Henry de Bromhead sent out the winner in Mascada, who timed it to perfection, getting up to beat Dino Blue, and this one will bid to win it again off an £8 higher mark. She's a really tough mare, but can she really do it off £8 higher? I'm not too sure. One horse who's a dark horse in this race is in favourite. The bookies are not taking too many chances with Liberty Hunter for Evan Williams' yard. This one has won its last 2 starts in testing ground at Wincanton and Chepstow. It's gone up £17 all in, but it started a fairly lowly handicap mark, so it could still be ahead of its rating. If it handles this much stiffer competition, you wouldn't discount the chance of Liberty Hunter justifying favouritism. You've got Madara, who is an interesting contender for Sophie Leach, a winner at Cheltenham and at the Dublin Festival. He's going up in the weights as well, but if he handles the mud, he won't be at all far away. Samoa for Willie Mullins, third to Honeysuckle in the Champion Hurdle of 2022. He's a very classy horse who's also won a chase a Grade 1 level over fences, but has been struggling that level of late. And so they've come back to handicaps. He's got a lot of weight, but you can't rule him out. And Saforeur for Gordon Elliott, horse that I like in this race. He was on my short list, was second to Calixios in a good novice chase last time out, and he will like the testing ground. Ben Pauling's having a great season. He had one run really well on Tuesday called Twig that even he thought wouldn't handle the ground. It very nearly won the Ultima Handicap Chase. He's got a horse called Harper's Brook, who's been in good form, but all his profile suggests this ground won't be ideal for him. And it's a similar story for Dancing on My Own for Henry de Bromhead, horse that tends to like better ground and probably is going to be rocking up at Aintree on better ground where he should go very well next month. Calico will probably lead them, Dan Skelton's runner. I think he could still be there as well, going down to the last ride in the firing line, but I'm not sure he'll get home up the hill. And then you've got Solness for Joseph O'Brien, who's had a winner on day one. He ran well at Fairyhouse last time out, behind Madara. But my choice here for you at Sportsbet is a horse for a stable that's been going really well this season, and that is Hardy de Soil. Hardy de Soil for Jamie Snowden and Gavin Sheehan. This horse was only 4 years old when he joined this yard from France 3 years ago, and straight away went to novice chasing. They didn't bother with hurdles. He ran to a decent level at around a mark of 135, and then the following season they switched into hurdles. He won at Sandown, winning a handicap over 2 miles on soft ground in January of 2023. And then last season he ended with good efforts, finishing second at both Wetherby and Chepstow. Then he must have had a bit of a niggle or some reason. He didn't reappear for 10 months, and he probably needed the run when he went to fences at Sandown last month. And he ran really well there after a 10-month absence to finish third to Etalon. And that was despite losing a hind shoe, which of course is a handicap. It's like running with a slightly deflated tyre. You're not particularly well balanced. So he's run well there. And I think he'll come on for that. I think the soft ground should be okay for him. He's won on soft. And with Snowden and Sheehan having had such a good campaign, and with there having been money for him, he was early 14-1, he's now 12-1 each way. And that is the answer on offer for this race for Hardy de Soil. And they're betting 5 places, 12-1. Hardy de Soil, the likes of Paddy Power and Betfair and BetMGM and BetUK as well. So those are my two for Wednesday. We'll be hoping for a bit more luck than we got on Tuesday. Remember, if you're fancying getting involved with a few multiples or just hearing one or two other horses that I anticipate going well, check out the link below the screen in the description box, and do consider, along with many others that have already signed up, joining us at Out in Front. But for now, that's my day 2 selections at Cheltenham. I wish us all the very best of luck. Enjoy your racing.